Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be putting a Walbro 460 into my Nissan Stagea. Alright, let's get into it. So, Walbro 460. Probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, aftermarket fuel pump that you can fit into a lot of stock fuel cradles in the Japanese world. Let's have a look at what's included. So there we go, TI Automotive, who bought Walbro several years ago. Looks like a decent sized plug on there too, that's cool. It's covered in oil. Okay, a couple of hose clamps. Instructions, you're not going to need. Bit of flexible fuel hose. I assume that's to go into my stock loom. Some more connectors. I suppose that's for every different kind of terminal you might need, I guess. So, some crimps, crimp connectors, and the pickup sock. Cool, well it looks like a pretty comprehensive kit. So before I go and start hooking any of this up, I think the safest thing is going to be hopping into the fuel tank, getting out my fuel pump, and just seeing how the stock setup works, what connectors there are and where they are. Then I'll be able to compare the stock setup to everything here and make it look the same so that everything goes in the same places and wires up to the same connections. So let's go ahead and get my fuel pump out now. Oh no. I forgot about the twins. Better get them out. Right, so now we've got access. That's the hatch on top of the fuel pump. That'll be your feed and return lines. And that's the electrical connector that's going to power the pump and probably have the fuel sender signal coming back to the front of the car as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull the top cover off and get better access. Okay, so now that the access cover's off, I'm just unplugging the electrical connections. And there you go. Okay, so now with the electrical connector unplugged, the next thing I'm going to do is start the car. The fuel pump won't be running, but it's going to drag all the fuel that's in the lines here towards the front of the engine, I think. So hopefully the car won't start, it should sputter and stall, and hopefully that will remove any residual fuel from these lines, I'm pretty sure. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I did just warm it up a little while ago so that it would start easier now. And the fact that it won't actually start again now, well, it's already warm. Yeah, the fuel pump's unplugged. I don't think there'll be too much fuel to worry about in those lines. So let's go ahead and start pulling the lines off. Okay, one little trick that I've done here is the feed line out of the tank. I've left the little hose clamp on there, but the return line, I've taken the hose clamp right off, so that'll just help me distinguish between the lines. Hey! Alright, so to help with not mixing them up, I'm going to put the line for the fuel feed on that side, the line for the fuel return over this side. Hopefully, you remember what that means. Now we need to remove the top hat, which is usually a bit of a pain, but let's try this. Yep, there we go. That's got it. Okay, so tuck those lines down out of the way. Easy. Just leave that over there for now. It should just lift up fairly easily. It's got a seal and everything. Beauty. What? That's the float down there that I can't figure out. where the actual pump is. Alright, so this part is impossible to film because all the action is inside the tank. But at this point, you can see that there's lines that go down to the pump. So the pump isn't actually attached to the top hat like I thought. But it is, so the pump is sitting on the floor in a little cradle by itself, and these lines go down to it. So basically you just have to pull this up gently. You can see the fuel level float goes down to the side. And you have to be real careful not to bend it, otherwise it'll give you an inaccurate reading. And then right down on the floor, the fuel pump is there with the cradle, and you need to pull this lever and then pull the whole cradle up, and now it's loose in the bottom of the tank. So now I've got to go ahead and try and jimmy this all out. And there we go. There is the fuel pump. Shit. Oh no. I don't know why this is done this way, but it is what it is. This cradle is, it's like it's bolted to the floor, but they don't bolt it, it's like a series of push tabs. Look at that! Alright, so this is everything that we pulled out of the tank. So we've got the top hat, that's the old fuel pump there, and that's the cradle that it all slides down into. This was an absolute pain to get out. I had to release this little locking tab there on the back corner, which I couldn't see from the top of the tank. Anyway, yeah, it was a nightmare. Managed to get it out, but I did notice it's full of weird black crud, which was similar to Jamie from Fury Garage. He, I was talking to him about how to get this out, and he had the exact same problem when he pulled his pump and cradle out of his Stagea. Had all this black gunk all through his whole system, so I'm gonna go and clean. What the hell? I'm definitely going to clean all of this out before I put it back in. Holy hell. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cleaned out the cradle. No more gunky black stuff in there that I can see, so that's cool. We'll come back to that in a minute. So the actual fuel pump is where I'm going to start. So I've already started to disassemble this a little bit, but I thought I'd put it back together so I could show you guys on video. So this part basically just disconnects. Then there's a little rubber insulator that sits at the bottom. That's got to come off. And we're going to put the new pump in that as well. So that will be needed to hold the new pump in the cradle. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove the electrical connectors from the top of the stock fuel pump, as well as the fuel line from it as well. I'm working in this little tray so I can avoid spilling fuel everywhere, because one of my pet peeves working on cars is getting fuel and fuel smells everywhere. Alright, sorry if it looks a bit confusing, but there's a lot going on here, so I'll just remove the stuff we don't need right now. Okay, there we go. So, what I'm trying to do is figure out where I should cut this stock wiring loom, so that it kind of ends up being the same spot, same length really is what I'm worried about. So if I kind of go like that, I figure, you know, if I cut the stock wiring somewhere around here, that gives me enough space to solder anything back together if I choose to do that in future. So there we go, that gives me enough. So that, I don't need any more down here. All I need to do now is try and get this fuel line off. There we go. Awesome. So that's my stock fuel pump. I don't really need that anymore, but I do need this sock. Not sure how to get that off. Oh, there's a little retainer thing here. We'll come back to that a bit later, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wire this up, and then we'll come back and we'll work on the sock basically, and that's it, ready to go. I like to go a fair bit of wire making contact in everything I do, and that's just a personal preference. It sort of stems from when I was like 16 and 17, and I was like trying to install a stereo in my first car, which was a fully sick Lancer. Anyway, yeah, I didn't wrap enough wire around each other, and it was a bit of a nightmare. So ever since then, I've made sure that I really have a lot of wire-to-wire contact in everything electrical that I do, because I don't want anything to come apart. Alright, so here's my new loom. So I've just extended it, and wherever I've joined the wires together, I've wrapped it in some fuel hose, zip tied it together. So yeah, made that the same length as the stock setup. Alright, so on the stock fuel pump, the little sock is held on by this little retaining clip, which is a real bitch, so just a little screwdriver to pry that off, and this pump can finally go in the bin. And then, yeah, we just have to fit the original sock back onto the new Walbro, because this has the right orientation in the cradle. So that took a lot of force to get that on there, and now it's got to put the little retaining clip on there as well. Okay, well, I'm absolutely butchering this clip, but I don't really have an option because I kind of bent it when I was removing it from the stock pump, but I think that's on there pretty good. I don't think that's going to fall off anyway. I think there was enough it took enough force to get the actual sock on there. I don't think that's going to come off anytime soon. So the bottom part of the cradle that holds the fuel pump in this cradle, this bracket thing, doesn't allow you to turn it so that the sock sits at the right angle. So I'm going to have to cut a little bit off the bottom of this plastic here, and possibly a little bit at the top here as well. So I'll get the Dremel out and I'll cut that off. So there you go, you can just see the little cut out there, just enough to fit the sock through. So that's cool. Alright. So we also have to cut a little extra divot out of the little rubber insulator at the bottom there too. Alright, so that's basically everything ready to go, I think. I've just zip tied the new pump into the little bracket. Everything seems to fit pretty well in there. And now that I've put the little rubber insulator at the bottom there too, that should just sit there hopefully. So it does sit pretty nicely in the bottom of the cradle. That's really close to where the original sock was sitting. You can see it sitting up maybe, I don't know, half an inch or so. So I'm just going to have to be careful to not run it completely empty, which is going to be fun. But it's not that bad. It's still very low in the tank, so it should be alright. So let's go ahead and hook the lines back up and get this into the tank. Alright, so we're going to reconnect the electrical plugs. We're going to test this out and see if we can hear it prime. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get it to prime. Ooh, okay. Definitely heard that one. Ooh. Prime is so loud. That's cool. There it is, boys, running on the Walbro 460. So there you go. Walbro 460 fuel pump is in, and it started up first go. I've got no words. I'm so happy with how far this has come, with how much cool stuff is in this car now, and there's really nothing left between here and the dyno. So fingers crossed, it's not far away. I keep promising that. Absolutely can't wait for that. Look, as always guys, thanks so much for watching these videos. Really does mean a lot to me. Come check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and see you in the next video.